Imagine rewinding the clock. Not thousands of years, not millions, but billions of years. The Earth we stand upon today was once an alien world, a violent sphere of fire and stone, floating in the emptiness of space. 4.5 billion years ago, our planet was born from dust and gas swirling around the young sun. What followed was chaos, collisions, eruptions, storms beyond imagination. Yet from this furnace of destruction, life emerged, fragile, persistent, unstoppable. This is the history of life on Earth. A fiery beginning. Earth's earliest days were filled with turmoil. The surface boiled with oceans of lava. Asteroids bombarded the young planet. They shook mountains into existence. Poisonous gases choked the skies. No plants, no animals, not even a single blade of grass. Only rock, fire, and water. Yet, as the planet cooled, rains poured from the skies for thousands of years. They filled great basins to form the first oceans. And it was in these oceans that a miracle occurred. Somewhere, perhaps in the depths of hydrothermal vents, or in shallow pools struck by lightning, simple molecules combined. They formed structures that could copy themselves, passing information forward. These were the first primitive cells, tiny bubbles of life in a lifeless world. They could grow, divide, and evolve, fragile yet powerful. They held the potential for everything that would follow. The age of microbes. For billions of years, Earth belonged to microscopic pioneers. Bacteria and archaea thrived in oceans, clung to volcanic vents, and multiplied constantly. These invisible architects were slowly transforming the planet. Then a revolution occurred. Around 2.5 billion years ago, some life forms discovered photosynthesis, capturing sunlight and releasing oxygen. At first, oxygen was toxic. It killed many life forms, but over millions of years, oxygen filled the seas and the skies. The blue atmosphere we know today was born. This great oxidation event changed everything. It created the conditions for the development of more complex organisms. It paved the way for plants, animals, and eventually humans. The Cambrian explosion. For a long time, life remained simple. But around 540 million years ago, a major turning point arrived. In the span of just a few million years, life diversified at an astonishing pace. This event, known as the Cambrian explosion, filled the seas with creatures that had never been imagined before. Trilobites scuttled along the ocean floor in vast armies. Spiky predators called Anomalocaris hunted with claw-like appendages. Worms tunneled through mud, while early vertebrates swam with flexible backbones. Nearly every major animal group alive today traces its origins to this moment. Evolution was experimenting wildly. It produced shells, claws, eyes, and teeth. The ocean became a battlefield. Survival was not guaranteed. Natural selection accelerated into overdrive. Conquest of the land. As time passed, fish became the rulers of the seas. Some developed jaws, giving them a fearsome advantage. Others evolved stronger fins and lungs, allowing them to gulp air. Around 360 million years ago, some of these pioneers crawled onto land. They were amphibians, creatures that straddled the worlds of water and earth. On land, the world was changing. Forests of towering ferns and giant trees spread across the continents. Oxygen levels soared. Insects grew enormous. Dragonflies the size of hawks buzzed through the skies. Life was flourishing in ways unimaginable. But amphibians were still tied to the water. They laid their eggs in ponds and rivers. A new group, reptiles, broke free from this limitation. With tough, protective eggs, they conquered dry landscapes. This opened the door to new possibilities. In the age of reptiles and dinosaurs. Around 230 million years ago, dinosaurs appeared. At first, they were small. They were overshadowed by other reptiles. But soon, they grew. They became giants that ruled the earth. For over 160 million years, dinosaurs dominated every corner of the globe. There were the colossal plant eaters, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, Argentinosaurus. They towered like living skyscrapers. And there were predators. Velociraptor, cunning and swift. Tyrannosaurus rex, a creature of raw power. Pterosaurs ruled the skies. Their wingspans stretched wider than small planes. The first true birds flapped into history. It was an age of giants, endless diversity, dominance unlike any other. But Earth has always balanced creation with destruction. Mass extinctions. Throughout history, life has faced unimaginable trials. The Permian extinction, approximately 252 million years ago, resulted in the extinction of 90% of species. It was the deadliest event in Earth's history. Volcanoes darkened the skies, oceans turned acidic, ecosystems collapsed, yet life survived, as it always has. Then, 66 million years ago, came the most famous catastrophe. A 6-mile-wide asteroid struck the Yucatan Peninsula. It released energy greater than that of billions of bombs. Firestorms consumed forests. Earthquakes shook continents. Ash blocked the sun for years. Plants withered. Animals starved. The reign of dinosaurs ended in devastation. 3/4 of all species were gone, but once again, survivors rose from the ashes. The rise of mammals. With dinosaurs gone, mammals seized their chance. Once, they were small and nocturnal, hidden in the shadows. Now, they have expanded into every niche. Some grew into mighty beasts, woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats. Others returned to the seas. They became whales and dolphins. Primates evolved in the trees, forward-facing eyes, clever hands. From this branch, a remarkable lineage emerged. The human story. Approximately 6 million years ago, in Africa, our earliest ancestors began to walk upright. They were not yet human, but they carried the spark of what was to come. Over millions of years, they shaped tools. They learned to hunt. They mastered fire. Homo erectus journeyed out of Africa. They explored new lands. Neanderthals thrived in Ice Age Europe, strong and intelligent. Then, around 300,000 years ago, a new species appeared, Homo sapiens, us. With language, imagination, and cooperation, humans spread across the globe. We painted caves, we hunted mammoths and built villages, we raised cities, we unlocked the secrets of the atom, we mapped the code of life, we reached for the stars. In just a blink of geological time, humans became the most powerful species Earth has ever seen. The story continues, but this story is not finished. Life is still changing, still adapting, still evolving, and now, for the first time in history, one species, ours, has the power to shape the future of all others. We can destroy, but we can also protect. The history of life is written in cycles of survival and renewal. What we do today will decide how the next chapters unfold. From stardust to consciousness, from single cells to civilizations. Life's journey has been long, extraordinary, unfinished. The question is, what will we do with the story we have inherited? This is the history of life on Earth, and though it began billions of years ago, it is still being written today.